What is up, everybody? It is Nathan Payne, and we got here?
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Nathan Valley, not to get confused with Nathan Payne.
That's right. And we got our boy Henry. We love Henry. He's in the mentorship, and we love bringing him on because he takes action. What's up, Henry?
What's up, everyone? What's up?
Yeah. All right. Well, hey guys, we got a lot going on for you. If you didn't know, there's a challenge that Privy's doing, and we're taking action. Just like the people in the challenge, we're taking action. I have a deal that I need to dispo right now that's under contract. Nathan's got a deal he's about to get. Now, before we even get into like what we're gonna go, actually, let me say what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna show you guys how to find buyers using Privy. We're gonna show you guys how to take action. I'm gonna call some agents. I'm gonna show you. We're not gonna be talking theory. We're gonna be showing you how it's done. All right, Nathan. Let's start off. I think you actually have a deal, right?
Yeah, so let me, man, I gotta get the address for it real quick. So this property, so it's listed on the market. So the funny thing, it wasn't even me that made the offer. It's a guy that I connected with in my market. So it's like, hey, I've got buyers in this area, and he really likes to JV. And he knows I've got great buyers. He knows I can help him with the dispo side. So he made an offer on this property, and the agent was like, no, not a chance, and then walked away. Well, like a week and a half goes by, and he just hit me up. He was like, hey, the agent was just like, hey, is that offer still on the table? So it happens all the time, guys, all the time. I mean, this agent, it was like a hard no. Like it wasn't like a let me think about it. Dude, it was like don't call me back with that number. And she called us back.
It happens
So
all the
it's
time,
kind of
bro.
funny how that happens sometimes, man.
It does.
So this property, we we're actually, it's in Jacksonville. Orlando, Florida is kind of my main market that I'm focusing on right now. So Jacksonville's a little bit outside my area. So I'm kind of got to find some buyers in the Jacksonville area. It's a property to where it's a little bit difficult to comp. It's the price point's a little bit hard. From a few comps that I saw, I think I could sell buyers on at least a 350 to maybe like 380 ARV. But it all depends how they're going to look at it. But the thing I got to take into consideration is that's a bit of a lot of guys want to be buying houses below 300,000. They really like, 300,000 ARV or lower. And the reason being is so they're at that median price point. So it doesn't mean we can't sell this deal to an end buyer. It just means I've probably got to leave a little bit of extra meat on the bone for the end buyer. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm trying to find some buyers in Jacksonville and get their feedback because I actually don't even have it under contract yet.
Right,
So the
bro.
agent came back and was like, hey, is that offer still on the table? And we're like, I'll get back to you.
Let me get back to you. I love it.
So because we don't want to go locking something up if we can't sell it. So I'm at the point where I'm like, hey, let me connect with a few buyers and get some feedback. And I'm gonna have them take a look at the address and whatnot, and go from there.
So Nathan, I love the strategy. I love it. But how are you planning on finding some buyers? Just kind of curious. Were you looking to connect with some agents in the area? What was your goal?
So I like to try to connect with the buyer directly. If there's no like if so, I like to use Privy. Now Privy, the funny thing, man, maybe you could actually help me out. So Privy, I've been using it for my 30-day challenge that I've been doing. I've been loving it for finding deals. And then, when you can look at the comps, like for a specific property, that's a great way to find flippers. But I actually I don't even know how to use it if I'm like, hey, I'm trying to find buyers in Jacksonville, Florida. I don't really even know what searches I should be putting and how to set that up. I don't know. Maybe you could help me out with that. But
Yeah, let's do it.
yeah, for buyers, what I like to do is I like to look at guys that have flipped properties in that area. It'd be great if it was properties similar to mine, but ideally that are doing single family flips, near my property. And what I want to do is I want to look at it and then I want to call them up. So sometimes Privy, it'll have the LLC listed, I could see who the buyer was or who the flipper was. And then I'll go on to, I'll search that LLC, and then I just use True People Search and see if a number comes up with it. And what I'll do is I'll just call him directly. I did it this morning. I called the guy and had a great conversation with him, and I'll be sending him the address, and he'll be giving me some feedback on it. And if I can't find a good number for the buyer, or I can't find the LLC, then I call the agent. So first, step one is I try to see if I can, directly connect with that buyer. And if I can't, I still want to get to know the buyer. Then I'll look at, the agent that handled that transaction, because Privy has all that information right there. I'll look up that agent. I'll call them and I'll be like, hey, saw this property you sold on, 123 Main Street. It looked like it was a flip, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, cool. I've got one around the corner. Do you think that person would be, are they looking for another flip? And then get them to connect me.
No, I love it. So that's exactly how I do it too. So we got a lot actually going on. So you have a couple deals that you need to find buyers for. I gotta have one that I gotta find a buyer for. I actually leverage the people in our mentorship. I say, hey, you find me a deal, I'll pay you, right? So I guess what do you think would be best for people to see? Do you think they should see the Del Rio? Well, actually, let's actually take them through a little bit of a process. We can still do your deal, but let me show people how to dispo a deal. Let me show them the process. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Be really helpful. All right. So let me do this really quick. Let me grab the process that I made. But before I do that, do you have anything else you want to say, Nate, while I pull this up?
Yeah, I just want to say, one thing I hope you guys kind of picked up on there is both Nathan and myself, we operate in the same way of we want to know we can sell a deal before we make a commitment to it, right? And there's ways that you can do that. You don't have to have the contract first and then have to scramble to find a buyer. You can get it all set up beforehand. A lot of times, if the deal's in my market in Orlando, I've already created, relationships with really, really good buyers. I was just talking about another deal that I'm waiting to hear back on an answer from my buyer. It's a property to where great price. I called the agent this morning on it. They just listed it yesterday. She's like, yeah, we've already got like 10 offers. She's like, the best one is at this price and it's no contingencies, nothing, no due diligence period. Well, I'm trying to wholesale, right? And normally we need to have that inspection period to be able to sell the deal. But when you start with the buyer, well, for me, I knew what that price was. So I literally called up my buyer, a guy that I knew. I was like, oh, this would be a good fit for him. I said, hey, I could get you this deal at this price. It'd be zero contingencies. Is that something that'd be a good fit for you? And I even told him, I was like, look, I'd be locking it up at this price. I'd be wholesaling it to you at this price. It'd be zero contingencies. There's a bunch of other offers, but I think I can get my offer accepted over everyone else. And I think it's an awesome deal. What do you think? And he's really interested. He's like, he's like, yo, let me look at it real quick. And he's like, I'm gonna call you right back. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna be tied up in a meeting. I've got this really cool thing, Privy, going on.
Just text me.
And that'll be a deal, guys, to where like zero contingencies.
What would you make on that? Just curious, with one phone call.
That would be a $5,000 deal.
So you're cool with making $5,000 in a day?
Dude, it took off like it was a deal that Privy sent to me from filters that I set up. So I looked at it this morning. I'm like, yeah, this looks like a good deal. Spent about 5 minutes looking at it. And I called the agent, had spent like 5 to 8 minutes having a conversation with that agent, got some really great information, right? Some really good details. I was like, okay, yeah, this is a deal I want to ask one of my buyers about. And I reached out and I didn't even call him. I shot him a text. I was like, hey, here's the address. I was like, I can get it for you this price. Are you interested? And then spoke to him for like 4 minutes on the phone. And I'm just waiting to get a yes or no from him. And if it's a yes, you can call the agent back, make the offer, and then we should be able to move forward with that today. And it would be a 10-day close. So I'll do those all day, every day. I love those kind of deals.
Yeah, everybody's trying. A lot of people are obviously they're trying to go for the whales, right? They're trying to get as much as they can. But hey, look, if I can make one phone call, because I got my filter set up, I know what my buyers want, and I can make 5K in 10 days and do a couple of those a month, that's solid, bro.
And that's man, that was the killer for me when I first got started too, because I get it. I love big deals. I love trying to get like, dude, I want to make 20, 30K, minimum on every deal. I love that. However, especially if anybody's ever done like direct to seller marketing, right? You're doing cold calling, you're doing texting, maybe you have cold callers or you've got a team, whatever. Dude, how many deals, and for you guys that do your own acquisitions or your own lead gen and you're actually talking to these people, how many times have you talked to a seller or an agent and you had to walk away like, man, could that have been a 5K deal? Like, could I have maybe done that deal for, I might have not made 20 grand, but 5 grand, a couple base hits, that goes a long ways, right? And when you start adding up all those missed deals, all those, maybe that could have been a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 deal, right. But I kept trying to go for a $20,000, $30,000 deal. When you add up all those missed opportunities, that's a lot of money at the end of the day. And if you're spending money on marketing, dude, that could have paid for your whole marketing budget.
100%. 100%. It happens to all of us, especially if you're out there taking action. You're going to run into a lot of those. You're like, this might be a deal, right? Yeah. And knowing your buyers and be able to act quick, that helps you a ton. And I'm curious, the people that are watching this live or that will watch it, I want you to comment. Is that happened to you? Have you walked away from a deal because you're like, man, I think it's a deal, but I don't know, right? I wish I could ask somebody. I wish I had people that would tell me what they'd pay, right? Has that happened to any of you guys that are watching this? All the time. So look, there's two ways to do this business. You can do it the painless way, where Nate just explained exactly. He saw the deal. He didn't even have it under contract. He went to his buyer. His buyer's checking out. Now, if his buyer wants it, he's going to make an easy 5K. That's the painless way. That's what we teach in Investor Thrive. It's painless. It's easy. That's what Privy is used for. Privy is mainly for, I would say, having buyers and just finding them deals and making it quick, right? Now, there's another way to do wholesaling, and it's painful. Okay, it's the painful way, and it happens sometimes. You sometimes get deals in areas that you're not familiar with, and you're like, I think this is a deal. I'm gonna have to find a buyer. Now, I'm not here to say, hey, all we do is the painless way. Sometimes we do it the painful way, and it's not that fun, but you still make money, right? People still make money from locking up a deal, verifying if it's a deal, and then finding a buyer. That's what we do. I primarily want to do the painless way, make it easy on me, spend as least amount of time as possible, and then I'll go painful occasionally. What I'm going to show you guys right now is a deal that I have and how to dispo it. This was when I was doing things the painful way. This was in 2021. I locked up a deal at $60,000 and in Del Rio, Texas. In this property, I didn't have any buyers. I went and called some agents, found one, and I signed it to a buyer for $15,000. The agent brought me the buyer, so I was willing to pay her $3K. So I was going to make $12,000 on this deal. It was going to close quick. We were good. This property had a huge problem with probate. So 2 years later, the property is now able to go and be sold. The sellers have reached out. They said, hey, are you still good? And I'd said, yes, we just got to check with the partner we're working with. The dude is gone AWOL. We don't know what happened to the guy that we were going to sign it to. The agent doesn't know where they are. So I got to go do things the painful way, right? But I want to make $12,000. I want to see if I can even make more. This was 2 years ago. Now, things have either probably gotten better in Del Rio or worse. I don't know. 2021 is that what I can't even remember if things were hot there. But I'm going to show you how we're going to dispo this deal using the strategy of the painful way, right? But hey, everybody's got to do it sometimes. And then I'm just going to show you quickly how to set this up, and then we'll go and show people how to find buyers with Privy using Nathan's deal. This one is in Texas, so the information in this area is very limited just because Del Rio is so small, but you still can find some information. I'm going to show you what we can do. So this is more on the dispo process. And especially for people watching this challenge, if you don't have Privy, you need to get it because Privy's legit. And if you use my code Thrive, you actually get a discount on your first month. So check that out, everybody. Thrive, you get a discount on your first month. Use that promo code. But yeah, so I'm going to show you with this process, you got to do a couple things. This is my exact Dispo process when I have a deal that I don't have a buyer for. All right. So let me share my screen. I'm going to teach you guys the way. All right. So here is the step-by-step checklist to finding a cash buyer. So first, what you have to do is you have to get all the essential information. And from you guys that are doing this challenge, a lot of this information is given to you because these are on market. This one is actually off market, but Privy, obviously you can do deals off market. So you want to grab all the essential information. You want the address, seller's name, seller phone number, access to lockbox. How are we going to get in the house? You want the signed contract. Well, like I said, we already work with this person. You want any property descriptions, pictures, all documents included in your CRM. So we got everything. We got pictures of this house. We got videos. We got the address. You have the seller's name. So bam, check mark. It's done. So we want to analyze the deal right now and verify asking price. Verify asking. I don't know why it says verify asking price. So we want to verify if this is still a deal. Okay. I know on Privy, you can go on and check comparables. I do it a little bit different. It's not saying that their strategy isn't the way to go. I just like doing it through my calculator that I made. So this thing is called the offer calculator. What it does is you just plug in all the numbers to see if you got a deal or not. Okay. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So I got to analyze this thing. It was a deal 2 years ago. Is it not? Is it a deal anymore? We're about to find out. So we go to Privy. There's not much going on. And unfortunately, Privy doesn't have, I don't think they have access to the MLS data here. And I don't blame them. It's Del Rio. Look at this thing. It's on the border of Texas. This is the problem when you go nationwide too. You get a bunch of crap in the middle of nowhere. This thing is literally on the border of Mexico. It is probably, it probably is Mexico. If you go there, it's probably wild. But here are some of the properties that are active. My goal would be to call some of these agents and ask them if they know any cash buyers in the area. But we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to check and see if our property, like what it's worth. So ours is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,300 square feet, and it's right in this area. So let's see what we got going on here. This one is 189. Doesn't say any bedrooms. Let's take a look at this. So no, it says no bedrooms, just 1 bath. That's obviously can't be correct, but it's 2,299 square feet. The thing that is promising is my property is 60. I got it under contract for 60,000. You don't see much for sale right now in this area for 60,000, right? So that's nice. But mine's 1,000 square feet, and this one was okay, this one is 1,264 square feet. It looks pretty dang bad, but it's going for 205. Okay, that's that's good news for me.
You're like, oh.
Okay, let's look at this one. So this is 1680, 180,000. Okay, we can't determine too much off of this. Let's see this. This house looks like it's about to blow down. It might be about to blow down, but this is 58. Okay, so that's like not the best information for me. If I got mine at 60, and if you guys want to look at the pictures that I have of my house, it ain't that tight. It's not the nicest house. It's been abandoned for like 2 years. Yeah, this thing sucks too. But like I said, we had it assigned to someone at 75,000 2 years ago. So I'm hopeful, but I can't cross my fingers. And Nate, this is the problem that everyone has when they go and do the painful way. They literally, you're guessing. I'm guessing right now, bro. I'm just trying to use the data, and I wish I knew this area, but I don't, right? So I have to leverage other people. I have to leverage agents. So this is what I can find. I do like, no matter how good Privy or any of these softwares are, I love to use Zillow and Privy together just because I like to verify the information. So Zillow, I'm assuming just because of the access of the data, Zillow is a little bit, gives me a little bit more data on what's going on. So let's check this out. 185 This house is going for 185. It's a little bit bigger than mine. Not super nice. I would say it's clean, but that doesn't mean it's cool. So that's not even an as is comp, right? I mean, sorry, that's not even a flipped comp. It's 3-3-1. These are all over the place, Nate. This one's asking for 185. And
Yours is a 3-1.
This one is a 3-1, and it's a
No,
little
I'm
bit bigger.
sorry, your property that you're looking to sell.
So mine's a 2-1.
Okay.
And it's right on this corner. Okay, so you got 185, 290, and I don't really look for solds anymore. I know you can check on solds on Privy. I don't really look at that at the moment with the way that the market is. I want to look at and see what's selling, because solds don't really give you that much information because the market's changing through a lot of places pretty quick. So I'm going to filter this for just houses, and we're going to go 3-1. No, sorry, we're going to go 2-1. All right, so just a quick glimpse of what's going on. It looks like we're talking 150 to the 180 range. That one's pretty cool looking. But I don't really see giant flips going on in this area either. It's not like and I think that's another thing is this area, if you were like, hey, Nate, should we start our market in Del Rio? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is not a place where you would you start your wholesaling business primarily, right? But when you do nationwide leads like what we were getting, you're getting leads all over the country, so you kind of get in trouble. But that's why Privy is so cool, is because Privy's like, dude, what you doing in Del Rio? There's a lot of hot stuff going on all over the nation, right? You guys, you know how you can do that filter and you can see what's going on. It's definitely not going to point you to Del Rio, Texas. But I'm just doing this because this is real life scenario. This happens sometimes. Sometimes you get leads in middle of nowhere and you're like, well, can I move it? So I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to say, from the condition of my house, I probably got to put in like 20 or 30. It's not very big. And as everybody can see here, no one's really going all out on some giant rehabs. They're just going, doing a little bit, right? None of these have been like flipped like crazy. This is not a flipper's market. Okay. We're actually probably trying to find a family that will buy this thing. And maybe we should even list it. Maybe we should just do an ovation and just say, hey, we're going to list this for you. We're going to bring this to the open market. But I'm looking, Nate, would you say just from what we're looking at, we're talking probably 150 to 180? And that's kind of what we're looking at.
So this is great, man, because we kind of have two different outlooks. I do exactly what you're doing, right? I look at what are things listed for right now, right? Because if I'm looking at sold comps and I'm like, yo, my ARV is 350, but then my buyer's like, dude, have you not looked at where things are at right now? Like, dude, Look at these 10 houses that are actively listed for over 60 days. They haven't sold, and they're like good. 50 grand less than your ARV. They're like, yeah, dude, that's not ARV. Like so for me, I like to get kind of the whole picture and try to come to a conclusion. For me, so I love looking at for sales, but I also like to try to look at solds also. Right now, more than ever, in my market anyways, it is, and this is where Privy has been so clutch for me, the time period for the solds you're looking at. I've got guys to where they are only looking at solds 60 days back. Maybe I can push it up to 3 months prior. But anything past 3 months, like even if it was like October, if it was September or October last year, guys will give me a lot of pushback on that, even November. So I love to, what was the address or the street of your property?
It is, let me get it for you, brother. It is 500 West 1st Street, Del Rio, Texas. By the way, unfortunately, because we don't have MLS access in Texas, Texas is a non-disclosure state. So the best way to comp stuff, you can't even see what stuff sold for when you go in here. The best you can do is you can go in here and you can look and see what it was listed for, and you can speculate and be like, probably went for around there. That's the best you can do. There's not much more you can do than speculate on the solds from looking at the listed data. So if anyone's ever like, how do I run comps in a non-disclosure state where I don't have access? Well, I'm showing you exactly what to do. You look for solds, or you look at the properties, and then you go to the listing data and you say, okay, it was listed for this and it sold 5 months later. It probably did not sell for what it was listed for, just because it took a while, right? That's how I do it.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, it's so funny. We're in Texas, so not going to be able to see anyways. But just trying to take a quick look on my side. And it's funny with Privy and the access. So the MLS access, it's not in every single market, but they have it in all the markets that you want to be in, right? So I'm 99% sure. I think I've heard Benson talk about a number of times, like they're constantly growing and looking to get more access in more markets, because people are like, dude, oh my gosh, like Privy's not my market, but I need Privy. So I know they're working on that, and they're always kind of expanding that. But yeah, kind of like, these places like Del Rio, you're like, oh man, Privy doesn't have access in my market. Well, the first question I would ask is like,
get the heck out of there.
Should I be in that market? Yeah. And so for Del Rio, it's hard, man. And so it's so funny because I feel like so many people can relate to what we're doing right now, because this is the way so many people have been taught to wholesale real estate. And it's inefficient, it's ineffective. It's, for this, it's because it's an old deal that fell through.
Right.
But for this one, yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot, man. Right. So we're taking a look at kind of the information that you have. So, and with Texas, we're not really
speculating, right? We're speculating what people would pay for it. And I'm thinking like 150 at like in a decent flip. And if I have it at 60,000, and in order to get in decent shape, I'm sure it probably wouldn't take that much in Del Rio, Texas. So I'm just putting in the information for flip, like, because I would try and sell this to a flipper or someone that's going to move into it. So according to this information, if it took about 4 months for someone to flip, because this is like, you're not going to have to do too much to this house. We've already looked and we saw that a lot of these houses here, they don't look that pretty. All right. That's just what's going on in Del Rio. People aren't looking for the luxurious flips here. Obviously, there's not a flip market. So if I can get this thing, according to the math that I have in my offer calculator, if it's a 12K rehab, that's a 64,000 net profit. That's just to the flipper. If I gave it to them at 60K, right, and they could sell it for 150, let's be a little bit more conservative. Let's say it really can go for like 120, right? Someone's still doing that. That's a 30% return without my fee. I go ahead, I say, look, I got to throw my fee in here. I usually on this calculator, I just throw my fee inside the repair costs and then back it out. They're still making 22% on this property. So if someone wanted to buy this and live in it and fix it up and sell it, there is a lot of potential, because I have it at 60K. I'm going to call around now that I've analyzed this deal and I see that it makes sense. I'm going to call around and get some agents and say, hey, do you have any families that want to live in this and fix it up? I think that's kind of what we're going to be going for. If a family buys it, then we're going to have to do a novation. We're going to have to put it on the market because they're probably going to get a traditional loan unless someone has cash. But if I were to just go here to Privy and just be like, where are my flippers? Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot of flipping going on in Del Rio for this to give me that info. So no hate on Privy. Privy gives you the information you need. It says, hey, Del Rio, it's trash. All right. No offense if you live in Del Rio. We love you if you live in Del Rio. It's not that's fine.
It's wholesale in a different market.
It's just wholesale in a different market. So here I have all the information on the property. What I would do now that I have the information on it, flipping it, I'll show you guys how to do an novation really quick. So if we were to list this thing currently and do a novation, this one's going to be tough because this is a piece, right? But what you can do with the novation is all you do is you put the information on what would the as is listing price be on this thing. And unfortunately, I think the as is listing price on this thing would be like 70,000. I think you're gonna have to put something into it. I don't think we can just go in here, because the way you do with the novation is you take the market value, you back out a little bit, 95%, because you want to sell it for quickly, and you got to have a desired profit because you got to throw your fee in there. So unless we're able to list this thing for like 100K and then take all our fees out of it, the maximum offer we could give the seller would be around like 69,000, and we're at 60 right now. So I don't know. I don't know if this makes sense for innovation, just because as is, those properties aren't selling for a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I was just looking at one that it looked similar condition, and it's currently under contract. It's a 3.2, 1,500 square feet, and it's under contract with the listed price at 45,000.
This place is just so weird, bro. 95,000 for this one right down the street. It's there's no rhyme or reason, it feels like, out here. It's the wild, wild west. So what do I have to do now that I don't really, I ran my numbers. I think I understand what it needs. What am I going to do? I got to call a market expert. That's what I got to do. I got to call someone and say, hey, look, I got this property. Do you have anyone, or am I way off? All right. So using Privy, we can hit up some agents in the area, but let me go back to my Dispo checklist just to make sure I got this right. So after we analyze the deal, we kind of believe it's a deal. So we'll go here. If it's a JV deal, send the paperwork. This isn't a JV deal. This is just a regular deal we have. So making a landing page for the property is the next thing that I do. And let me show you a quick one that I've made in the past. I have a CRM. It's $97 a month. Super easy to use. You can actually make landing pages for your properties that you want to dispo. And that's what I do. I just made a landing page for this house that Henry got. And it's a $40,000 deal so far that we already have an offer on. So great job, Henry. All you do here is you put, your company name, you put a picture, you put the details of the property, and any information on like property access. You put a link to pictures so people can go see the pictures, and you put a link so people can make an offer. Super easy. So what I'm going to have to do is, on this property, I'm going to have to duplicate this template and do it again. So I'm just going to clone this, and I'm going to call this one the Del Rio house. So I'm going to clone that, and let's go Del Rio. Sometimes it puts it in the different right there. I got to put it in the little folder. Move to the folder. We got Dispo properties, real estate properties to Dispo. I just got this CRM, by the way. I was using HubSpot, which was like $700 a month. And I'm like, forget that. So this one is way cheaper and it's way better. So I'll show you quickly. We don't have all this time to like make one of these, but all you do is you replace the picture. So we're going to go and get, we'll try and find one that looks decent. So people, when we send this, they get a little interested. This one looks okay. So we're going to download that. We're just going to go put this and in here. We're going to replace the picture. We're going to upload the picture. Here it is. And then there. And this is something you can have a VA do. We're just going to take the address here. Where was it? Come on. I know this might be boring for a lot of you, but this is just a part of the game. You make a landing page and you send it out to people, and you get them to make offers on your property. It's pretty simple.
One thing I want to touch on real quick was, I believe Daniel in the chat asked, he was like, so I should get buyers first. Yes, 100%, guys.
Unless you want to do what I'm doing.
What's that?
Unless you want to do this, like that takes a lot longer, right?
Yeah, so this is a perfect example, and this is the difference from what we were talking about at the beginning of this call compared to what we're doing right now. So this is an old property done the painful way. Right? And then you're stuck here wondering, man, like, I don't know, what if, like, I've got to try to find somebody. I don't even know if it's a deal. And then the painless way is what we were talking about this morning. Like me shooting a text to the guy that I know it's a good fit for. And I'm like, hey man, can you do it? Cool. This is what I'm going to get paid. and you're going to put the money down and do this, this, and this. Like, let me know. Right? And it takes about 10 minutes worth of work because I found the buyers first. Guys, always start with the end in mind. We talk about that for everything, business, goals, talk about for everything except for wholesaling for some reason. Yes. The end buyer, we don't get paid. We don't make money unless a flipper or an investor, that end buyer, unless they buy the property from us. So that person is our ideal client. So we got to know, what do they want, right? Because it's supply and demand. We've got to supply them with the thing that they're demanding, the thing that they want. So that's why, market plays such a big role as far as what market you're in. Now you can do this, and you don't have to be in the biggest and hottest markets only. You can do this in your hometown markets, even if they're kind of smaller, but the process should still be the same as far as find, even if it's just a few. You don't need to spend weeks and months. You can do this in as little as a few days, and you don't need to build a list of thousands of buyers. I started with 10. I was able to get 10 really good quality buyers in like 4 days. And honestly, it should have been way quicker than that, but I was doing it while streaming my 30-day challenge. So it took me an extra bit of time, because I'm explaining stuff. I'm taking my time with it so that everybody could see. But honestly, in like 2-3 days, 2-3 days, you could easily get 10 really good quality buyers to where you've got great relationships with. And now you know exactly what they're looking for. You know what prices they're paying, what kind of, margins they need to be making, and you know exactly how to calculate your offers. And if you have questions, you can just text them or call them. And it's not like, oh, well, I have to have it under contract, because you're not blasting it out to thousands of people. It's, this is somebody that you've built a relationship with, you've built rapport with, that you can trust, to where you can go to them and say, hey, I'm looking at this. I was thinking of making this offer. Like, I just wanted to make sure, would this be a good deal for you? And guys, when you're able to start with that end in mind and start with those relationships with the buyers, when you're making offers, that certainty that you can have when you're talking to a seller, when you're talking to an agent, that conviction that you have when you're making that offer, that's when you really start to see, from an acquisition standpoint, you're like, whoa, like I'm getting deals all the time now. I'm way better on the phone, because you're never wondering, what if, or like, I'm not sure if I'll actually be able to sell this. Like, all that's taken out of the way, because you started with the end in mind. You started with the buyers. And I love, Privy for me is my favorite way to find them.
Bro, it's such a true thing. I love it too, because it is easier, bro. What I'm doing right now is very painful. It's taking a lot of my time I'm going to have to go find somebody, right? And that's how people, oh, I got to go find somebody. It happens, right? It happens. And I don't mind finding somebody, but I'd much rather do it the other way. And so a lot of people are asking these questions like, got it. So ask what they are looking for, then go get it. 100%. Even if you don't have the property under contract, a lot of you guys are concerned that if you don't have a property under contract, someone is going to go snake you. If you have 10 solid relationships, these people are not going to snake you. That's not worth their integrity to snake you on a deal, or they're going to be out of business soon, right? I will give someone that I trust the contract, the information, no problem. Why not? You're going to go around me. We'll never work together. Okay. So you want to establish that relationship. And by the way, wholesaling, you don't even need to wholesale the deal. You can have them pay you through an invoice. We're doing that right now on a property in Richmond. We're tight with the agent, and we're like, it's really difficult to negotiate with the seller, with him involved and his buyers. So we're like, look, dude, we'll step outside, sign this invoice saying that you'll pay us our fee of $10,000, and you got it covered. So we don't even have the wholesale agreement anymore. We're just like, hey, you take care of it. We just want that money in our bank when it's done. And do you think an agent is going to mess around? He's going to lose his license. So we all do that through an invoice. Who cares if wholesaling ever becomes illegal, which I don't think it will, just do invoices. And you can do the process that we're showing you completely easily this way, all through invoices.
Yeah, and if I can just touch on that real quick, it's don't go blasting out stuff to like a massive list of people, and don't just be blasting out addresses and prices, right? I'm not saying do that. This is totally different. This is personally reaching out to a buyer that you have a relationship with, and specifically on deal, like the way you can test the waters to really test that relationship. Is this someone I could trust or is it not? Because you really don't know until you're presented with a situation like that. So I'm not like, if I have a deal where I'm like, I know all day this is a deal and like I'm going to make like 30, 40 grand on it, that's not the deal I'm going to be reaching out before I get it under contract.
Yeah.
Even though there are guys where you can trust them with that, that's not the one I'm going to do it with. It's these deals like the one this morning I was talking about the beginning of this call, the one where the agent's like, hey, we already have offers on the table. They're all cash. There's zero contingencies, 10-day close. These are properties to where I don't know if I would be able to do this deal anyways, right? To where there's no way I would be able to do it without approaching my buyers first. So I kind of get to test it out. Like, yes, they could snake me, but it's like, okay, well, it's on a deal that I would have never gotten anyways. And at least I know that's somebody I never want to do business with. And same thing with the Jacksonville property. I'm going to let people go look at it because I really don't know. I really don't know or it's a little bit harder to read. So I'd rather at least find out, is it a deal or not a deal, and at that same time, I'm able to sort of vet the people I'm creating relationships with and figuring out, are these people I want to do business with? But I'm able to do them with the properties that I'm trying to figure out, is this a deal or not a deal? Because most people would just walk away from them. At the very least, I'm at least going to learn a lot about the relationships I have with my buyers in that process. I hope that kind of makes sense and clears that up a little bit.
Yeah, Nate, I think you're getting some questions. Did you see any that let's see. A lot of people are asking about invoice, how to send an invoice. That's a little off topic.
Yeah, I've never even done that. That sounds man,
Bro, it's
you and I
easy.
have to talk about that. That sounds awesome.
I'll have to show you guys some other time. I don't want to get too off topic with this. There's a lot of different variations. Invoices is kind of like what we teach people how to do in the club and whatever, whatever we do. But yeah, we'll have to show you another time for sure. But hey, let's go back. Nate, you did a great job just explaining all that. And while you were explaining all that, I actually whipped this thing up and it took me like 2 minutes. All right. So what you do when you have a landing page you want to send out, this can be an email. I actually make a landing page website through my CRM. You put the picture of the property. You go here, you put the address, you put the purchase price of the property. I'm going to ask for $75,000 so I can make $15,000. I put the information straight from Zillow right in here. Property access, email me your offers or email me if you want. One-time walkthrough, pictures of the property. I put the link so they could go right to it, make an offer. It goes right into my CRM. And I say agents are welcome to add their commission, blah, 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 blah. Super easy. Wish I didn't have to do it, but and by the way, if you already know your buyer, you don't even have to do anything like this for them. You can just be like, hey, here's the address. Go and do your thing, because you're tight with them. So this is.
I was just going to point that out, man. I was going to be like, when's the last time that you had to go through all this work and use the tools and create a landing page? It's like, guys, when you do it the painless way, it's a text message with the address. And 100%. Like, that's it.
100%. So let's get this thing going. I gotta publish. This is all like maybe a little bit advanced. Well, it's not even advanced. I figured out how to do this super fast. So anyway, we're gonna go. We have to make a domain, so it's gonna be Del Rio 1 for the house. Del Rio 1.
Dorcas Lee, I hope I'm saying that name right. Dorcas Lee had a question. How are your KPIs so far with agent outreach? And what advice can you give for those getting started with making 10 offers a day?
So Dorcas calculator. This is a goal calculator that I showed on when I did the privy call with Benson on Monday. But here's an off-market calculator. This shows you how many things you have to do daily in order to hit a certain amount of goal, like $4 million. This is what you'd have to do. Off market, if you wanted to do $200,000, according to these numbers of 50 listings, going through 50 listings, you have to go through 50. You got to have 150 conversations with agents. You have to make out of those listings that you made offers, 25 of them are open to cash offers. 25 offers are made. It takes you 2 deals to close. So this is saying these are the KPIs that are necessary in order to get a deal. These are an average. Some people are better, some people are worse. Depends on your relationships. But if you wanted to make $200,000 in a year, which would be about 20 deals needed, so you're doing 1 to 1.5 deals a month, these are your daily KPIs. These are your weekly. And again, this can be altered if you feel like you need more conversations, if you feel like you need more leads or less. It's super easy. It just changes everything for you. So I don't know if that should answer your question. There's unfortunately, it all depends on who's making the call, how good you are. That's why sales is really important to train on in this business too. But this would tell you exactly how much you need to do according to these numbers on market and off market. All right. So bam.
That's awesome. And then if I could just say one thing as far as for advice, I would say don't focus so much about needing to make 10 offers a day, but make the focus 10 relationships a day. Focus on creating a relationship with that agent, with that buyer, with that seller. Focus on creating the relationship over creating the offer. And guys, don't just cold text or email your offer.
Doesn't work.
You're not going to get deals that way.
Doesn't work.
I think I've said it before, but I talked to a guy not that long ago. It was maybe like a month or so ago. Dude was making 50 offers a week, and he's like, I've been at it for months. And he's like, it's me and my buddy I've been working with, and they've been doing like 50 offers a week. He's like, and we haven't got a deal, and they've been doing it for like 4 or 5 months. That's a lot of offers. And he's like, dude, why haven't I gotten a deal? And I'm like, well, what is it you're doing for making the offer? He's like, well, I comp the properties, and then we just text like our price and the terms. And I'm like, dude, man. I was like, bro, I'd rather you call and make 5 offers in a week versus texting 50. I was like, you're gonna get way better results. Way better results.
Exactly. Well, let me just go through this. We've actually been taking a while. This time has been flying by, but so this is just a landing page that you would send out with your details of your property, your asking price or best offer. You can put pictures, link to the pictures for people to look at it. And you can also put, I actually made a form where they can just go here and just straight make an offer, and it will go to my CRM. And that's kind of the way to streamline it. And you can put obviously your information or your Dispo guy or yourself in there. So I'm going to take this address, this HTML or whatever, this website. And now it's time that I finished making the landing page, and you use it with this. It's time to send out this landing page to agents. So you're going to call agents. You're going to post on Investor Thrive Discord. So I actually have a Discord for people that are in our community. Where is it? Let me show you. I like posting in here just because you never know who has connections in these areas. So I'm going to go in here and post in our comp and JV. Hey, I got a deal to Dispo. Anyone got buyers in Del Rio or want to JV on it? Here's the info. Because I'd rather save my time and not be the only one looking. If someone's going to look and I can pay them, great. I'll pay people. But I send this to the people that are in our group. So what else? Facebook posts. Nate, do you think there's any Facebook groups in Del Rio, Texas, bro? There's definitely not any Facebook groups in Del Rio, Texas.
I mean, if there is one, it's been created by the only 2 guys that maybe invest there.
So Investors Del Rio. That's how you find these Facebook groups. Real Estate Investors Del Rio. Okay, so the closest thing to Del Rio is San Antonio. Okay, so we're gonna join this group. I'm gonna. Oh man, it's got blah blah blah. Okay, I'm gonna say right here. I'm gonna say, hey, does anyone in here buy or invest in Del Rio, Texas? By the way, the first thing I would do is I would call some agents, but I'm just doing this so you guys can see the process. And guys, to be honest, I don't care. I'm gonna put the address on here just because I don't care. Like, if it's a giant deal, I would not do it. Like, if you're gonna make like 50 to 60K, like this one, like I think it'll be like a smaller one, so I don't mind. Hey, does anyone in here buy or invest in Del Rio, Texas? I got a solid deal. So check it out. And time is of I'm very short on time. I do a lot. So normally I would just post this and see who responded and then vet them and give it to them. But for me, I'm just being quick about it. Do you agree? Yes. Oh man. These jabronis. I'll just give them a Nathan at Invest. I'll just give them my email and I don't even care. Go ahead, email me. I'll unsubscribe. Okay, so they're still pending on this thing. Okay. So San Antonio again is the closest place to this. So I would check out other San Antonio groups. Let's go back to the I even have to look at the process, guys. Like I've done this hundreds of times, but I need to check. Call buyers list. So we have a nationwide buyers list full of buyers. So I would just check and see if we what county this is in. So what county is County Del Rio? It says Del Norte. Del Norte, it says. No, lies. Valverde. Let's see if I got any buyers in that area. Let's see, Valverde. Okay, yeah, probably no one buys in that county. All right, let's see what else. And then I can check this other top cash buyers list. We'll go here to Texas. And let's see if there's anything in these guys say they buy in any. Doubt it. Let's see if there's any in Del Rio. Nope. I don't blame them. So it looks like after going through the process of what we usually go to, checking our buyers list, posting, you can post your deals on myhousedeals.com, Craigslist, reach out to agents, email blast. These are the ways that you would send out and find buyers. Now we're just going to have to go to the tried and true that always works for me is we're going to have to just start calling some agents in the area and ask them if they have anybody. But before I start going through all of this, let's open it up. Nate, do you have anything you want to say through this process? Did I go through too quick? Is it helpful?
No, man, it's funny, dude. It's almost like I'm getting like a PTSD of like how I used to do things. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm scared.
And it's crazy. It wasn't like, it's so funny that, the deal that I'm working from this morning and then us kind of going through this process of just seeing, oh my gosh, like two totally different worlds, that I used to operate in. And that one, the one that we're doing right now, like is so much more work.
It is, bro.
And it's so painful, man. Like you don't know if it's a deal, and it's like people are gonna beat up your deal, and it's like, oh, you're gonna have a seller that's mad, or you can have all those things. Versus, dude, I think it's a deal. Like, let's do it. Or buyer, yeah, man. I want that one.
Bro, this thing could take me all day, a couple days to do. Now that's just what you're used to when you're a dispo agent. But when we're doing the painless route where it's like, dude, we just work for ourselves and we have low overhead. We're going to make all the money. That's the business I want to run. That's what I do. But occasionally we do painful stuff. Go ahead, Nate.
Would it be cool? Cause I know so the big thing is we're talking about Del Rio, Texas, where you've got this deal. And it's like a market, kind of like absolutely middle of nowhere. There's no activity going on, and we're like, yo, this is not a market to be in. And Privy doesn't even have MLS access there. Like, that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
Someone also asked, what's the software name, please? Privy. Privy is the software.
Privy, yeah.
That's what we were talking about.
And by the way, if you guys don't have Privy, I've already said this multiple times, but here's the link. You get a discount with my link. If you just use the code Thrive, you get a discount on your first month.
Can we do a real quick show of how they can just, through Privy, how you can use Privy to select your market? That's how I selected my market. Was I used Privy. I wasn't familiar with Privy at all, but the information is able to show me. I was like, wow. I was like, okay, this is awesome. I was like, this makes a big difference, being able to kind of see what Privy is able to show.
100%, man. Yeah. So you want me to show you how to pick a market right now?
Yeah. If you don't mind, I think that'd be really helpful for everyone. If you're wondering, hey, should I be in my market? Should I be in my local market? Should I choose a different market? What's good? What's bad? How can you tell? Privy was able to do that. And I know, so for me, so right now the market I'm working is Orlando, Florida. Previously, my market, I was working with the team, it was the entire West Michigan. Big area. And a lot of hardships. A lot of canceled contracts. Man, it was like impossible to sell a deal there.
All right.
And we had so much trouble. And, I started to get to a point where I'm like, dude, like maybe, just maybe it's not me on this one. Guys, there are some of you watching this video to where like, dude, and I love the persistence, right? You're like, man, no, like local market, I can do it, or whatever market I chose, like, no, I'm going to stick it out, I'm going to figure it out. And there's a lot of value to that. But just take a glance, because the problem might actually be your market. That's what it was for me, 100%.
Yeah, so this is the filter, Nate, that shows you where the activity is going for investors and fix and flippers. So really easy to see that if we zoom in on the border of Mexico, where our deal is, Del Rio over here, actually it's so small you have to even zoom in closer. You know, where the heck is this thing? It's probably over here somewhere.
So these kind of blue circles, what they are is Privy did a search and they're like, hey, here's all the properties that have been fix and flips, right? And then the big circles, they'll have, if you look in the center of the screen there's 510, there's 418, 90, there's 3,170. That's how many flips have happened in that market within like a certain recent time period. That's really good information to know. Why? Because again, our end client are flippers. We want to be where flippers are, right? That's really important. So yeah, man, when you're looking at Del Rio,
look at this, bro. On the border of Texas, the whole border, which is thousands and thousands of miles, there's 29, and if you count that, that's not on the border. There's 29 opportunities that Privy has found. And it's because McAllen's actually a bigger area and probably a nicer place, but 29 in the whole border. Come on. That's so if you're trying to fix and flip and wholesale and you're chilling on the border of Mexico, good luck, right? That's information that this can tell you. You want to be in San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Lubbock. Well, even Lubbock doesn't get you a lot of love, but you were on the East Coast. No, sorry, the West Coast of Michigan. You had 31. There's 31 opportunities in here, man. No wonder you were struggling. Not a lot of love. Not a lot of love in there.
And the only city that I, was kind of active was Grand Rapids. And the vast majority of our deals were everywhere except for Grand Rapids. The funny thing was, if we did get, like, our most profitable deals were the one in the area that had the most activity. And it's funny. So, look at West Michigan, and it's like, okay, one, that alone if I was in West Michigan and I was like, hey, I still want to be local, which is fine. At least I could have used it to narrow down like, oh, okay, this is the city in West Michigan I should put the most of my attention or all my attention on.
100%.
And that's what I would have done if I had had this tool or if I had known to use this tool back then.
And where
instead,
you went to Orlando then, bro? Is that
Orlando? So yeah, what do we got going over there? So I went from, like 20, 30 flips in an entire geographic area
right here? Yep. 31.
to literally thousands of flips happening. Right? So crazy difference.
Yeah, and we even have access because we've done this job of finding buyers first. We have our buy box criteria. These are buyers that we know that are buying, and we're actually looking for deals for them. This is our hedge fund that Nate's using and I'm using, and we just send them deals that we think are deals, and they'll tell you if they want them. You don't even have to have them under contract. They do Tampa and Orlando, so they do exactly the areas where we're targeting. Why? Because these areas are hot, and they're flipping in there. So if any of you guys are like, oh man, I'm not having the success I want, check if your area has investor activity and find buyers. All right. There's not much else to say than that, right?
Yeah. I was just going to say real quick, the one thing I'll say is, guys, from a marketing standpoint, there's one thing that matters most. So one of the greatest marketing minds, Dan Kennedy, he talked about, he's like, if he asked a wide audience, he goes, hey, if I were to open up, or if you were to open up a hot dog stand, if you could have one competitive advantage, anything that it would be, what would it be? And people would shout out, oh, the best hot dogs in the world, or like the nicest hot dog stand, or the best location. And he says, you're all wrong. The winner goes to the person with a starving crowd. It doesn't matter if you've got, the grossest hot dogs in the world. It doesn't matter if you've got this rickety cart that's like, falling over. It doesn't matter if like you're in this like super sketchy alley. Dude, if you're the only car outside of like Yankee Stadium, when a game gets done, if you got a bunch of drunken people coming out, dude, you're going to make some money, right? Versus if I'm in Del Rio, Texas, and I'm trying to, do a hot dog stand, I'm not going to make any money. So guys, set up shop to where there's going to be a starving crowd.
100%. Because it ain't in Del Rio. Tell you that right now. Well, hey everybody, we've gone a little bit, we almost gone an hour, so we're probably gonna wrap it up. But didn't get a time to call agents in Del Rio. That's what I'm gonna be working on today. That's what I'm gonna be doing with my leads manager, my Dispo guy, Zishan is gonna be helping with me with that. But just to wrap things up, there are a lot of people asking questions like, hey, is it possible to get your workflow checklist? This one that we give out to people in our program. Let's see. I got another question. Someone said I was referring to the tool that you use to shop it out. Are you talking about my
Elite 360 is what they're talking about?
Are you talking about the CRM? I can give you a link to that. It's $97 a month, super inexpensive. You even get a 7-day free trial. So if you guys want to try that, I don't think that's a big problem. But about the checklist and a lot of these things that we use, like like our offer calculator that tells you exactly what to offer, what else? Buyers lists. Like this is all stuff that we've spent a ton of money on and time like building. So we don't just like give it out for free. I do give out a lot of things to people to help them out, but we just don't give those things out just for free. People that are inside of our club, our network, and our program, they do. Obviously, we hook them up. But yeah, just letting you guys know. But if you are interested in learning more, if you just go to investorthrive.com, which is our website, we actually do. Let's see, wrong one. We actually do a masterclass. We're actually holding a masterclass this Thursday. If you guys are interested, you don't have to join, but we talk a lot more in depth about doing deals. So if you just go to investorthrive.com, you can register for the free masterclass here. But yeah, that's kind of how we talk a little bit more about what we do. But again, this call is mainly just to show you guys how to get these deals across the finish line, especially in this challenge that we're doing, right? We're trying to get these deals across the finish line and make some money, because that's why we're all in this. We're all using Privy for just to make that money, right? That's what we're trying to do, deals. And that's Nathan's doing it. I'm doing it. It's exciting. It's working, and it feels good. So, Nate, again, we went a little longer, and I didn't get time to call an agent. Should I call an agent, or should we just wrap this up? What do you think?
Man, it's always fun making one call.
Let's see what the crowd want, what the people that are watching. Should we wrap this thing up, or you guys want to see me call someone, an agent in Del Rio, and see if they got anybody? What do you guys think? If nobody wants to see it, we'll wrap it up, because it's been long enough, but I don't mind. I like calling people. I like people showing people. I like showing everyone that it's not scary. I think a lot of people are scared to make phone calls because they don't know what to say. But how do you know what to say, Nate? If you got to fail, right?
That's right, man. Dan Carter, same call.
All right, I'm gonna pull up an agent. Let's get it. Dan Carter, he's calling for it. You got Mastermind with Mike. He's got it. All right, let's give him a call. So I'm just right here. I'm gonna dial it up. Let's see. I'm actually gonna call the agent that found us the original buyer 2 years ago. Let's see. Hey, lady, let's freaking go find me a buyer. And if she doesn't answer, I'll try someone else. But let's give it a shot. Let's see. Seller contact, blah, blah, blah. We want the agent's info. Her name is Antonietta. She's Mexican. So there you go. And 6-7. By the way, I'm not Mexican. I love Mexicans, but I'm not Mexican. I'm actually half white, half Chilean, which is kind of crazy. Look Arab sometimes.
Hello.
Hey, Antonietta, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Do you remember me?
No, who are you?
Oh, okay, no worries. So, my name's Nathan Payne. I'm the one that called you like in 2021 about the property in Del Rio on 500 West Street. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the property is finally able to be sold, and
okay.
I'm sure that Eric has talked to you, the Dispo, one of the guys that works with us.
Yes.
So I'm just calling to get the information on it. I think your buyer is no longer available or interested. I can't remember what happened.
I don't think she's available because she's not in town.
Oh,
so I don't. I can find another one.
Well, that's what I wanted to call you about, because I was looking at what the properties were worth in the area, and I'm not sure if values in Del Rio have gone up, if it's gone down, if it's the same. What in the last 2 years?
It went up, but then now it's down again.
Like everywhere else, right?
Yes. Now we're at the same page. We're back to the same page.
Back to the same page. I wish we would have been able to get this done when it went up.
I know.
I wish that would happen. Well, I would love for you to help me find a buyer. Let me ask you this: would we be looking for like a flipper that would want this, or we would be looking for like a family that would want to live in it and fix it up themselves?
Well, to make it easier and faster, maybe a flipper.
Okay. Now, do you have a lot of contacts with other flippers that are potentially looking for properties?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
All right. And what did we agree on last time? What we're going to pay you to bring someone to the, to buy the property?
$1,500.
Okay. So does that still work for you?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. And if we can't find someone, I can negotiate with the seller, because I can just say, hey, look, the house has been sitting there. We probably need it for less. I can say we can maybe list it. I don't know. I know they're in a hurry. They just want to get it done. But
okay.
But if you can call some of your buyers, I'd love that, because I'd like to get this thing done today.
Okay. Well, let me make some phone calls.
Okay. When can I expect to hear back from you?
Just give me the weekend.
Perfect. Okay. So follow up with you on Monday?
Yes.
All right. And by the way, last question before I let you go. How is the market in Del Rio right now? Is it hot? Is it cold? I'm not sure.
It's cold. Really, not that it's not that hot anymore.
Okay.
It was very hot, but it's not anymore.
Yes, like everywhere else. Well,
Yes.
the property, just to let you know, we have the property at 60,000 right now under contract. So the most you can get us, the better. And if you can get us a certain amount, like over, I was really hoping for 75,000, but if you can get us over 75,000, I'll actually pay you an extra $1,000.
Okay. Let me see what I can do.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Wow.
Bro, let's go, man.
I'm going to have to spank my, so I was going to say, I'm going to have to spank my Dispo guy's rear end. He was like, yeah, man, she doesn't have anybody. What are you talking about, bro? I just called her.
She's like, yeah, I got all the buyers.
She's like, I know everybody. Okay.
Dude, I love it, man.
That's the power
about Fridays.
Yeah, that's the power of calling a real estate agent is I don't live in Del Rio, bro. That lady loves Del Rio. She lives there. She knows, she has those relationships. I could spend the next 10 hours calling people trying to build those relationships that I don't have. I don't have 10 hours. I got stuff I got to do. And my time's, I would say, more valuable. I'm willing to pay her $1,500 out of $15,000 to get this done for me, or pay her a little bit more if she can incentivize her to bring me a better deal.
Yeah, dude, 100% worth it every time. Especially like, dude, it's a market where you have no relationships. Like, it's hard to find the information, so it's really hard to find the buyers. And the other big thing is, even if we were to get in touch with those buyers and present it to them first, she already has relationships and rapport with them. So they're going to trust her way more than they would us, right off the bat. And so that's why, I mean, sometimes it's so powerful, bro, like being able to kind of leverage agents and their relationships. Dude, that's awesome, man.
Well, that was good. That couldn't have probably gone any better. And guys, it's not that I'm smooth or I know what I'm saying. I actually didn't even start that conversation how I should have, by saying, hey, are you busy? Do you have time? Because it sounded like she was eating at a Mexican restaurant, to be real, up on the border. I bet they got some good Mexican food right here on the border of Del Rio.
Bro, I bet, man. That reminds me of time. So I played a lot of soccer growing up, and in my town, there's a lot of Hispanic leads, and primarily, I'd say probably like it was 90% Mexican based. And I was decent at soccer, and I was like, they brought me one time to invited me to come play with them at their tournaments, and it was like, dude, it was like me, and like there was two other Spanish dudes that could speak English, and I had no clue what was going on, but they had Spanish food there, and I was like, huh. I've never seen this Spanish food before. And it was like the real deal. Dude, it was so good.
That sounds
so good.
That sounds good. Well, hey, that was good. For anybody that's watching on the live that will watch, I want you to comment any questions, anything that you have to say from that call. Guys, that's all it takes. It just takes getting a deal. First, you should have the buyers and get the deal. This would save us a lot of time. But if you don't, if you're doing it the painful way, get the deal, call some agents, ask them if they can bring you a deal, incentivize them, be willing to pay them $1,500, bro. That's no problem, bro. I've got to pay my Dispo guy more than that half the time. Ralph saying 30-day challenge link. If I'm not, so if you guys are doing the challenge with Benson, just go on over to the Facebook group. I'm not exactly sure if that's what you're talking about for the 30-day challenge link. I think that's where you would get it, is the Facebook group, for the Privy Facebook group. But does anyone else have any questions before we wrap up? We're about to head out. Henry, we got to bring Henry back on here. Maybe he's been sleeping. Henry, you still there, bro?
Yes, I'm still here.
Dude, I should have brought you on here. What did you learn from today's call, brother?
So I learned from today the power of connection. So I saw you making a call to an agent that they were the real, and then she willing to look for a buyer offer your asking price, and then you willing to buy her extra 1,500.
That's right, brother. Actually, extra 1,000.
Oh, extra 1,000.
Tired, but hey, let's do it.
Yep.
Well,
yep.
Henry, I love that you take action. You're an inspiration to everyone here. Henry just started a couple months ago. Me and Henry are about to do a deal. He brought me a deal. I negotiated it. And right now we have an offer, $40,000 fee. That because Henry's in our mentorship, we're doing the deal together. I'm helping him through it, taking him through the reins. So Henry, do you think we should accept that $40,000 deal, or should we wait and see if we can get more?
Yes, let's say it depends on you. If you happy with 40K, I'm happy with it too.
You guys are about to make 40K on a deal?
So the thing is, the 40K is being brought to us by some wholesalers that have an end buyer, so they want 50%. So that's 20,000. That then me and Henry would split that. But
dude, that's crazy.
It is crazy, but I think I can get more. I think I can find my own buyer that I can get the 40K instead of have the wholesalers bring me. If this was a deal that I had to get rid of like tomorrow, I would be worried. But the closing date is at the beginning of April because there's an Airbnb couple in it. So
that's a really good Airbnb rental right there. So let me take blasting more cash buyer investor in Florida, and then to see what else are they gonna offer us.
Yeah, because I gave Henry the cash buyers list in Florida, so he's hitting those people up. Remember, still hit those agents up because those agents are the ones that have the homestead buyers. They call them homestead where in Florida, but the people are going to live in there. So let's get it done. Let's make some money, everybody.
That's
Henry,
right.
Is it okay if I shared what you and I briefly spoke about? Oh, he just kicked him off.
Yeah, come on,
Henry, you there, bud?
Yes, I'm here.
Is it okay if I were to share with everyone what I had asked you about before we started this call?
Sure.
Yeah, guys. So Henry, I didn't know. I just asked him before we hopped on here. So Henry's from Vietnam, and he came to America, Texas, just 14 years ago, and he's only been doing wholesaling for like.
Say it again. Henry's mic was going off. Start over.
So Henry, yeah, sorry if you guys couldn't hear me. Henry's from Vietnam. Henry came to America. He came to Houston about 14 years ago. That's it. And he just started wholesaling a couple months ago. And dude, that's crazy. I didn't know you guys were about to close potentially a 40K deal. That's nuts.
Bro, he brought it to me.
Dude, like it's like this wasn't, guys, you hear us talk about Henry all the time. Henry has bringing new deals to the table, like really hot leads, properties every single week. Guys, he's killing it. So man, I hope everybody shows some love to Henry, man. I know we appreciate you. Dude, here, honestly, you're killing it. You're an inspiration to everybody. Keep it up, man. I can't wait to see this deal close for you guys.
Let's get it. All it takes is action. Have a great weekend, everybody. Use Privy, continuing the challenge. Hit us up if you need us at Investor Thrive. We're happy to be here and help you out. Henry, you got anything to say before you tip out?
All right, thank you so much for your guys for giving me an opportunity to learn about wholesaling.
You got it, brother. Hey, we got you. Later, everybody.
All right, see you guys later.
Peace.